The Simpsons just concluded its 36th season, and pretty much sent media outlets and social media into a frenzy, which based on the content of the episode, I totally get. But it actually brought up a question that I think is much more interesting than the episode itself. By the way, I'm going into light spoiler territory for this video, so if you were wanting to watch the episode and were clever enough to dodge all the outlets talking about the content, then here is your warning. But to be honest, I don't think it takes away any impact from the episode. I mean, after 36 seasons, I don't think you can spoil anything in The Simpsons because, to quote South Park, The Simpsons already did it. I've been pretty much in and out with The Simpsons as of late. I'm not really up to date with current story lore, and with so much adult animation out there, it's hard to take time to watch the show. With that said, I do poke my head in here and there for Treehouse of Horrors or when a particular episode is highlighted from other phenomenal YouTube channels like Super Eye Patch Wolf or Captain Midnight. Also go check out their Simpsons videos, I think they do a great job speaking about the current wave of the show. The Stranger Things is a 36th season finale, and it takes a concept that The Simpsons has visited before. The episode fast forwards into the future to see Bart and Lisa has grown apart, where Lisa is successful and Bart is, well, a bum. Very reminiscent of the season 12 episode Bart to the Future, this time the writers add an interesting spin to this familiar framework. What if this happened after Marge Simpson, the true glue of the family, has passed away? Yes, the episode kills off one of the most grounded characters in the Simpsons family structure. News outlets covered it, and it was a conversational piece for a little bit. And look, it worked. It got me to watch the episode solely based on intrigue. Now, to be honest, I really didn't think they were going to kill off Marge Simpson. Although characters in the past have passed on, I really wasn't buying that they were suddenly ending an important character without some sort of build. A minor character or even a light recurring character, sure, but this is Marge Simpson. Now, as of this video dropping, the writers have come out to say the episode isn't canon, and upon watching it, you can kind of tell that it's more of a what if scenario. But this actually brought up an interesting thought about the show that feels more real than ever. And is a thought all of us Simpsons fans have been pondering for decades. With the thought of Marge passing, what does it look like when Springfield passes on? Meaning, what does it look like when The Simpsons actually comes to an end? The concept of The Simpsons wrapping up has been thrown out for almost a decade now, and there are a handful of videos talking about how the golden years are long gone. But with a show that, again, wrapped its 36th season, how do you end it? It's not like it'll ever be cancelled, so ending the show has to be something special. And to flip the famous South Park joke, it has to be something The Simpsons has never done. I think A Stranger Things is an interesting look into what final episodes can look like for this iconic family. Now, as stated before, Marge isn't canonically dead. But, as Captain Midnight and many viewers have noticed, voice actor Julie Kavanaugh's voice is starting to show its strain, most likely due to aging and years of delivering such an iconic performance. Not many shows get to run as long as The Simpsons has, and with the beauty of animation, voice actors can play characters for as long as the series runs, since they can hide their age behind the animation. But in this case, with a show approaching its 4th decade on national television, these voices that we have grown accustomed to will change as the voice actors get older, a situation that really is only specific to The Simpsons. Now, going back to The Simpsons wrapping up, I don't think they should kill off their characters for the sake of a final episode, because that would be way too depressing. But I think as we get closer to a 40th season, I think The Simpsons' final days have to look similar to episodes like A Stranger Things, referencing the legacy of the show and hitting the heartstrings of its viewers as we gear for a Simpsons-less existence. Showing what made this show special in the first place as we send off America's yellow family into the distance. And it actually doesn't seem that difficult of a task. They can give all the characters of Springfield fitting endings that can span a full season episode order. I mean, they have the material, the lore of Springfield is layers deep. So deep that can probably take up 2 seasons without actually getting to the main family. They just need to actually commit to ending the show. I'm sure a task easier said than done, but if there is a series that has such a dense lore to pull from, it is The Simpsons. And hey, I think it's doable. The past few seasons has shown that there are still some creative juices in these writers. Season 34's Treehouse of Horror was probably one of the best I've seen in a while. And if you look into that episode's final story, they did exactly what I mentioned before, reference the legacy of The Simpsons in the construct of a Westworld-like world. I think making a fitting ending is possible, and with this season finale, it feels like a conclusion is actually on the horizon. Personally, I will miss them being on the air. There's something satisfying when seeing a Simpsons episode do well. They may not give The Simpsons its back vibe because of the heights of the golden era, but it's exciting to see them still hit it out of the park this far into the game. I would enjoy them to wrap up the show and maybe focus on a movie to truly bring the family's story to an end. But based on the strain on Julie Kavner's voice, I think it's time for them to set off into the sunset. The Simpsons deserves to retire. They shaped TV as we know it and gave a blueprint for what adult animation can be. And to be honest, I'm ready to put the Simpsons should wrap up chat to an end so we can focus on something more important, the legacy that is The Simpsons. Till next time, be good to each other.